Well, one day there was a particularly difficult case, and none of the doctors could answer the question. So the senior doctor, probably with the intent to humiliate my grandfather, actually put him on the spot and said, "Well, Mr. Chopra, what do you think?" And my grandfather made confidently the correct diagnosis and treatment in the case. So the senior British doctor was very impressed, and he decided that he was going to champion my grandfather to go to England to study medicine. Again, something that was really unusual at the time. And my grandfather ended up becoming one of the first cardiologists in India. So my grandfather's intent to heal has really shaped us. When he came back to India, at about 22, he married my grandmother, Ma, who we called her Ma. And Ma was beautiful, she was well-spoken, articulate, fiercely protective of those she loved and those in her community. Indian independence came, and my grandmother and grandfather, my grandfather became a colonel in now the Indian Army, and they were stationed to a small town at that time called Jabalpur, which is in northern India. And it was this time that my dad was probably 10 and my uncle was probably 8 that really shaped their destiny. People in all the surrounding villages basically heard about this healer who had come to town. They would travel by foot, most of them extremely poor, to meet this healer who provided sage advice, medicine, and compassion to those who were suffering. And when they arrived, my grandmother would welcome them with blankets, clothing, food. She'd secretly give them the medicine, she'd secretly give them the money to buy medicine and to buy everything that they needed to get home. So what they got was not just physical healing, but emotional and spiritual healing as well. And my dad and my uncle tell quite emotionally the story of when they left Jabalpur to move to the next town. When they arrived at the train station, there was a mass of humanity waiting there. Thousands and thousands of people had traveled again to come with gifts, with Indian sweets, with tears in their eyes and gratitude to thank this great doctor and his wife who had healed so many. So this probably shaped my father's intent. And he says that his intent is to create a just, sustainable, peaceful, and healthy planet. But I really think my dad's original intent was to heal just in the way that my grandfather did.